to Made at Home, What's in Your Lunchbox? I'm Katie Cullum with the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture, and I'm the Family Consumer Science Agent in White County, Arkansas. With me today is Becca Stackhouse from the University of Georgia. Becca is a Family Consumer Science Agent in Crisp County, Georgia. And today we're going to talk to you about allergy-friendly lunches. Take no chances. So, first of all, you have to know your needs. You probably know and are very familiar with your own allergies. But there are other allergies out there that you may not be aware of. The big 8 allergens are milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, wheat, soy, fish, or shellfish. So those are the big ones that most people have to be concerned about. So some other things to think about are, what are the school or daycare policies? Is that a nut-free campus? That's important to know because each school is different. So look at those policies to find out which kind of school or daycare your kids attend. Another important thing is to read those labels carefully. You probably do that already if you have allergies. But even if you don't, you may need to start reading labels if you're around some kids or some adults that have allergies also. And another thing is you want to ask about those allergies before parties or potlucks, field trips or trainings, or if you're having snacks for the ballpark or a game. So those are some things to keep in mind. There are plenty of substitute for nuts because a lot of people are allergic to peanuts. And so some schools are even peanut-free or nut-free campuses. So some good options are a pumpkin or sunflower seeds or the seed butters. There's some sunflower seed butter that is very similar to peanut butter. Beans give a good crunch, especially if you roast chickpeas or soybeans. They give you a really nice crunch, which could be what you're really looking for from the nuts with less fat. Pretzels can add crunch to coatings or crust without a nut. So instead of, say, pecans for a crust, you could try pretzels, depending on what you have for lunch. Now, food intolerances are not the same as an allergy, but they can give you a definite reaction in the foods that you eat. So this could include lactose. Lactose intolerance means that you just can't really have milk, but you can have lactose-free milk. Gluten is another really big one. And there's also additives like sulfite or dyes. Some people have an intolerance to caffeine or MSG or aspartame or eggs or sugar alcohols. So there are a lot of different foods that could cause an intolerance. So it's important to know which ones of those you may have, your kids may have, or other people around you may have. In our small group, we have one who kind of doesn't do very well with aspartame. So we try not to serve those drink mixes that have aspartame in them. We could instead do another kind of mix that we can add Splenda or sugar to. So it just depends on your group. And it may take a little while for you to figure out what kind of food allergies and intolerances are there. But those are important, especially when you're packing those lunches. So when you're dealing with intolerances or sensitivities, it's still important to plan ahead, just like it is for allergies. It's important to read those labels and look at the ingredient lists on those labels. You may have to experiment with substitutes. I have a coworker that does gluten-free, and sometimes it doesn't always work out as well as she would like. So you may have to experiment a little bit. It's really important to ask about these things before potlucks, parties, field trips, snacks for ball games or meetings, or training days. We deal with potlucks in our office much differently now than we did a few years ago because there are a few more allergies and intolerances that we need to work around. And it's important that you are willing to do that for your coworkers or for your kids and their friends because that's just being kind, really. But it's important to be able to work around those things. It's much easier these days than it used to be. So for parties, field trips, think about those things. You may not think about when you're packing your kids' lunch for a field trip not to pack a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but keep that in mind because you wouldn't want another child that's allergic to peanuts to get too close to your child and have a reaction. So it's important to think about those things. And especially for kids, plan something similar for everyone. You don't want some kids to have birthday cake and ice cream and someone else to have a little fruit cup. So it may be challenging and it may be a little bit more difficult, but try to make it similar for everybody. Parties can be a real challenge, but those kids that have allergies and intolerances may appreciate your efforts even more than most others because they don't always get a good option. So when you're packing lunches or planning some lunches for friends, think about those things because people are really struggling with some of those allergies and intolerances. And I'm sure that I didn't even cover a whole lot today, but read labels and be sensitive to other people and the challenges that they may have with their lunches. Because if you worry and complain about doing it just one day, imagine what they have to do every single day. So just be kind to others that you meet and that you work with and live with and your kids go to school with. Now I'm going to turn it over to Becca and see what she's kicking up today.
Hi guys, welcome to Made at Home. I am Becca Stackhouse with the UGA Extension Office in Crisp County, and today we're going to make a quick pimento cheese. So you're just going to need a couple things. You need, of course, pimentos. So you need a jar of pimentos. You need mayonnaise. You need cheese, of course. Cream cheese. Then you need your spices, which we've got garlic, black pepper, salt, and crushed peppers in there. So we're going to start with getting our cream cheese in our bowl and getting it softened a little bit and ready to mix everything else in. So we'll then add in our mayonnaise here. So you need a whole package of cream cheese, about half a cup of mayonnaise, it's 4 ounces of pimentos, then we got about a cup of cheese, and then we've got a teaspoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, and then about a teaspoon of crushed pepper, which crushed pepper is one of those optional ones. It depends on what you want in it. Really, any of your spices are. You can kind of put them in, take them out, however you want to have your spices in. Then we have our pimento cheese made. So you can eat this on a sandwich, make some bread. You can eat it on crackers. You can have it on pita chips, kind of whatever you want to consume it on. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Have a great day.